What is going on, guys? It is your boy Steven here, and we are back for another NCP Wi-Fi battle. This week, we're going to be taking on Obo and the Seattle Sandstorm. Obo's team is the Garchomp, Entei, Greninja, Jolteon, Hitmonlee, Solrock, Mega Scizor, Necrozma, Crobat, Comfey, and Rotom-Mow. Our team for him is going to consist of, first off, the Pointy Lad, the Bisharp, Black Glasses, Defiant, Knockoff, Ironhead, Low Kick, Swordsdance. So Owen's team has a couple of good defoggers, but they are all defoggers, and we want to try and take advantage of that. I mean, he has Rapid Spin Hitmonlee, but Hitmonlee, I don't know if it'll come against Intimidate, Starmie, Intimidate Masquerain. We have double Intimidates and we have a Starmie, so Hitmonlee's got to be a weird set if it really wants to work. So this Bisharp set's going to have Knockoff, Ironhead, Low Kick, SD, 204 speed, 252 attack, and 52 HP. The speed, I believe, is to outspeed a Jolteon after Sticky Webs. The plan, so this, honestly, this Swords Dance was supposed to be Rock Polish. Now the plan was Force Webs up, we come in under Defiant, we get a +2 attack, and then we Rock Polish for +2 speed, and at +2/+2 with Black Glasses Knockoff, we basically just swept everything. The only thing we did not kill was the Mega Scizor, but if he was a more defensive spread, I don't know why I just tabbed into that. If he was a more defensive spread, we were not damaged too much by his moves. Next up, we have our Masquerain, Shoofly, Sticky Webs, U-Turns, Scald, Roost, 124 defense, max HP, 132 speed. I believe the speed is outspeed, maybe no speed, Comfey. That seems about right. Maybe no speed, Comfey. With a good amount of bulk, just because he's got a lot of physical attackers, like the Garchomp, the Mega Scizor, and like the Hitmonlee. We can check all of those sort of. Basically, this Mon is just setting webs and trying to grab some U-turn momentum. Next up, we have Sasha, the Mega Garchomp, Earthquake, Fire Blast, Dragon Claw, Swords Dance, Max Attack, Adamant, 12 Special Attack, 44 HP, 28 Special Defense, and 172 Speed. The speed outspeeds Jolteon after a Sticky Web. We also have Fire Blast with 12 Special Attack. We Oko and Mega Scizor, even with the Adamant nature. Next up, we have Sage, the Rose Raid, Sludge Bomb, HP Fire Sense, the Spike, max HP, 180 Speed F, 20 Special Attack, Modest, 28 Defense, and 28 Speed. Our investment, especially defensive wise, lets us take 2 Life Orb HP Ices from Jolteon. At first, I had it a more physically defensive spread that let us take 2 max Adamant Bullet Punches, or 1+2 Bullet Punch. But I figured Jolteon was a little more of a threat to my team than Mega Scizor because I have Arcanine. So I might as well have a better Jolteon check than 2 good Scizor checks and be weaker to Jolteon. Next up, we have Mindless to Starmie with the Culper Berry, Analytic, Dazzling Gleam, Scald, Rapid Spin, Recover. The Culper Berry is there to take a Greninja hit, takes the knockoff, or takes the Dark Pulse from Gred. It'll also take like a knockoff from Hitmonlee if we have our Culper Berry intact, and Analytic, Dazzling Gleam will kill Gran, and it'll do a chunk to Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee has pretty good speed, so it will not kill. Our speed is to outspeed, I believe, a Garchomp. Max speed Garchomp. Special attack is there to hit as hard as we can. HP, and then we had 8 left over, so I split it between defense and special defense. Not much to say about Starmie. It's a pretty basic set. Like, Dazzling Gleam is just there to hit a couple things. Scald is there for burns, Rapid Spin, Recover for longevity and hazard removal. Next up, we have Flarebud, the Arcanine. Leftovers, Intimidate, Toxic, Morning Sun, Fire Blast, Extreme Speed. I went Fire Blast because I felt he was going to be a more physically bulky Crobat, and Fire Blast did a little bit more to a physically bulky variant. I went with a minus speed nature just because I didn't want to take out of either my attacks or either my defenses because I'm running Fire Blast and Extreme Speed. So I wanted to keep every stat like as high as I could. I didn't really need the speed for anything. I maybe could have kept like admin Entei or something, but it wasn't really worth it. So we can go ahead and get into the battle here. As you can see, he brought the Crobat, the Entei, the Garchomp, the Mega Scizor, the Jolteon, and the Comfey. So my thought process was I would like to get my webs up because his defoggers are Crobat, and his defoggers are Scizor, and his defoggers are what was the third one? Comfey. So he had 3 defoggers. I wanted to get the webs up so I could try to get Bisharp a Defiant boost as soon as I could. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna intimidate this Crobat. I know I can live any one hit, provided he's not like choice banned. So, and if he is choice banned, then we know he's choice banned. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna click webs, as he is going to click the Brave Bird and do a lot, but he's not choice banned, so we do live. He's also going to take some recoil. We're going to get some lefties. We're going to go back up to out of the red, so that is a good sign for Masquerain. She's gonna come back, and we're going to save her for another day. We're going to go into Pointy Lad the Bisharp because we shouldn't take too much from my Brave Bird, and we can be able to kind of do whatever we want. So he's going to go ahead. He's going to fire off the Brave Bird. You know, no drawback play, so good on his part. And he's going to crit us and do half. So the plan of not taking that much from Baybird is kind of at the window now. He's going to go for a Roost as I click SD. Now remember I told you it's supposed to be Rock Polish. Well, we had SD. SD does kind of do a good amount of work in the battle, so I can't be too upset. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to SD, and then we are out of range of another Brave Bird provided he crits us twice in a row. And we're just going to click a knockoff, and we should take out this Crobat. He's going to Brave Bird us, and we are not going to get crit. So the Bisharp is still alive. We're going to go ahead and knock off. We're going to take out the Crobat. It says a fast threat and a 1 potential defogger down. As we can see, he was Yachi Berry. I guess that's for maybe. I actually couldn't tell you. Starmie would hit it with Psychic. I don't know. Either way, so he's going to go to Garchomp, and I guess he forgot about webs, but we're going to outspeed this. And if he revealed Scarf, he revealed Scarf. Not a big deal. But we went ahead and we just could knock off and claim that Garchomp. He was double Yachi Berry. Oh, it was for Frostlass. He really feared Frostlass. He thought I had a really good matchup against him. I don't need to save this Bisharp any longer, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let it die to the Comfey Draining Kiss. And then I'm going to go hard into my Arcanine because we were able to eat up anything this Comfey is going to go for. And we'll be able to hit it back with a good old Flare Blitz, E-Speed, Toxic, whatever I choose. I do predict the Arcanine here. I have the Arcanine. I do predict the Entei here. And I go for the Toxic. It was easily his best play to go into this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fire off the Toxic. Now I do have to face a prediction. I don't want to stay and take Abandoned Stone Edge. I don't want to stay and take Abandoned Bulldoze, Stop Tantrum, whatever it may be. So if he clicks Sacred Fire, he's first off crazy for doing that on an Arcanine because he's going to do nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and Garchomp, and I figure Stone Edge is the most likely click. Even if he clicks Stomping Tantrum, it would have been fine, but he clicks E-Speed, which is actually worst case for Garchomp because Garchomp's going to take a lot from that. So we're going to lose about 40% on our Garchomp. We're going to stay in, and we are going to Mega Evolve, and we're going to click Earthquake. He did not have a great Earthquake switch-in at this point in the match with his Crobat dying so early. So he's going to go for another E-Speed, and we're going to be at probably about 26% health. We're going to go ahead and we're going to fire off the Earthquake here, and we're going to take out this Entei. After this, he is going to go back into Comfey and threaten to revenge kill our Garchomp. Comfey is definitely a nuisance. I do not like this Pokemon. I hate this Pokemon. So he's gonna hit some webs. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna switch out, and I'm gonna go right into my Arcanine. Arcanine takes up any hit this thing wants to go for. If it goes for Calm Mind, not a problem. If it goes for Draining Kiss, not a problem. He is gonna go right for the Calm Mind, and I played this game thinking that Comfey got Psychic, like straight up Psychic, not like a Hidden Power Psychic, not like you know, anything. Like, I just thought it straight up got, I just thought it got Psychic. So I can never use my Rose Raid as an offensive pressure, like an offensive switching, because I just thought this mon got Psychic. Either way, I'm going to go ahead for the Toxic, as he's going to set up his second Calm Mind. Now that we got him poisoned, though, he's got to reveal that he is Draining Kiss, Calm Mind, Aromatherapy, and at that point he'd have to be like Synthesis. That would be like the worst case set for me right now, because I would probably just lose to it. But he's going to go ahead and he's going to go for Draining Kiss. So at this point, I kind of think that maybe he doesn't have, like, I assume he had Psychic. I know now that it doesn't get Psychic, but I assumed he had that for the Rose Raid, but Comfey does not get Psychic. I didn't know that during the battle. We're going to go ahead and we went for Fire Blast. It's going to do a little bit of damage because he's +2. It's not going to do that much. He's going to go for the Taunt this turn. After he figured out he outsped us. He didn't know at first, which is why he did not taunt us on the initial Toxic. We were going to miss the Fire Blast. Not too big of a deal. It would have been nice. We might have killed this Comfey maybe a turn earlier. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go for another Fire Blast. He's just going to Draining Kiss up. He's not going to do that much to us. And he's going to get a lot of health back, though, because of how the percentage is converted in Draining Kiss. Like, Draining Kiss, most draining moves heal for like 50% of the damage done, but Draining Kiss has a lower base power and it heals for 75% of damage done. So, with Comfey not having the greatest HP, it actually goes up quite a lot. Here I go for the E-Speed, just to kind of save Fire Blast PP. I'm still taunted, so I couldn't Morning Sun, which is a bit unfortunate because our Arcanine is going to get a little lower than I would have liked. But we're going to go for the E-Speed. We are going to put this thing in range of Poison, and that is going to be the end of the Comfey for this game. So we have we've dealt with the Comfey, the Garchomp, and the Crobat at this point. He's going to go ahead into his Jolteon. At this point, I decide that I'm going to go out and I'm going to switch right into my Garchomp. I'm going to sack it. I'm going to let it die. Not a big deal. He's going to go for the Shadow Ball. And we are actually going to live on 1 HP. So I do have an option to make here. I'm going to sack Masquerain just because differential. And well, not differential, but I would like Garchomp stats to be a little better than Masquerain. It didn't make too much of a difference what I did here. We go ahead and we sack our Masquerain. He's going to die to the Shadow Ball. And then we are going to get a free switch into our specially defensive Rose Raid. I didn't go into it earlier just because I didn't want to risk like a crit HP Ice into another HP Ice. You know, it could happen, but I guess he just didn't have HP Ice because he reels T-Wave here, so I can only assume he was like Volt Switch Shadow Ball, T-Wave, and then maybe like Thunderbolt. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fire off the Sludge Bomb. By the way, he was Quick Feet, which is a pretty cool tech, because even after Sticky Webs, he still outspeeds just about everything on my team. But he's going to go for the Volt Switch. I did not predict the Scizor with HP Fire here, although I probably could have. Espeon might have died after Technician HP Fire damage and the Burn damage. Either way, we're going to go for the Sludge Bomb. It's not going to affect him. I'm going to fire off an HP Fire here. I know I live any one Bullet Punch, so even like U-turn I would live, and if he U-turns and went into Jolteon, I would still be out of range. I would still be like I would just pick up the kill on Jolteon. He's gonna go ahead and he's gonna Bullet Punch. We're gonna live. We don't get parried, and we go for the Hidden Power Fire, and we're gonna take out the Mega Scizor. So all he has left is the Jolteon at this point. Our Rose Raid is healing up, and we just need to not get paralyzed, and we should wrap up this game nice and clean. He's going to get his speed drop there, but we're paralyzed, so he's still going to outspeed us. Not a big deal. He's going to click the Shadow Ball. It is not going to take us out, and we're not going to get paired, and we're going to click the Sludge Bomb, and we're going to pick up the final kill on Owen's Jolteon. We're going to win 4-0, and it was a good game. There's a lot of things, like I'm really happy with how Garchomp played out, because having to play like with his Garchomp in the back would have been a lot more difficult than the fact that it died early on in the game. Entei, business as usual, I guess. The combo of like Archon and Garchomp always forced it to be like a weird prediction kind of game. Crobat went down pretty early, which was good because Crobat was a nuisance. And then Comfey just did its annoying kind of thing, but that's to be expected. Either way, shoutouts to Owen. GG's to that guy. He's a real cool dude. Make sure you check him out. His link will be in the description along with all the other NCP coaches. Next week, we battle Zombie in the Victoria Victinis. This also, I might mention, brings our record to 6-2 or 7-2. I think it's 6-2. So next week we try to go to 7-2, and I will see you guys next week for that. Peace.